So I had some news involving the Fairy Tail series as of recently, mainly being about the new manga that is coming out as well for the new series as well, but this could possibly as well showing more stronger evidence as well what exactly they might actually be doing with the season so-called known as like season 3 / new project anime, whether or not it's the season 3 that we're thinking of, which I highly doubt it, and it's other project that we feel like that's going to be happening. Now, here's the thing with that, exactly where this news is coming from. Our chapter 18 of the Fairy Tail Gaiden Road Knight series, one featuring Gargiel as the main character, that recently ended. That only had 18 chapters, and that kind of came to a close, and it said, oh, the end, and it said, soon a new arc with Laxus as the main character will begin. Wait for the details. Now, they obviously don't give out any information so far about what exactly going to be the premise of this Laxus stuff. I'm kind of excited. Like, I've actually read all of the Gargiel stuff like that, and I've got to say it's actually pretty enjoyable. It was like one of the more funner ones that I've read so far. I only saw the first 2-3 chapters maybe. Sabretooth one, I feel like a lot of the time I will just read these when they come out in volume formats, as we know they're getting licensed, so I'm just going to wait for them. Same thing can be said for the Fairy Girls one, the Ice Trail manga, and the exception to the rule is obviously Fairy Tail Zero, because it's pretty good and the anime came out for that recently. Now for the details of the manga, I'm guessing this is like the other series that we've been kind of seeing from like the Gaiden series, is that they're all kind of be going to focusing around from this time, like kind of after Grand Magic Games, or it's going to be focusing after like the kind of the whole everything that happened in the Tartarus arc, which was kind of weird actually, because it seems like for how the Gargiel manga started, it started before then, and then it time skipped after the whole Tartarus situation. Could happen with the same thing with Laxus and all that. That's the one character I'm actually interested in. However though, this just goes show heavy more. It's like, if they keep doing these Gaiden mangas, there's a lot to them. Maybe they're waiting for a big certain amount of them to like finally be finished off, and then maybe they'll be like, we're going to adapt the entire Gaiden series into like their own things. They'll be like, hey, here's like 4 episodes on Gargiel. Here's like another 4 on like Gray or something like that. If they do something like that, maybe they might like put into the Ice Trail stuff into the Gaiden stuff. We don't exactly know. So here's the thing though, with Laxus getting the next one, I feel like this one, or maybe another one of these Gaiden things, because I feel like they are going to keep pumping out as like, you know, as long as the manga is still ongoing. I feel like there could be another one of them, and out of all the possible characters out there, because it's also showing is that every other one that we've gotten so far, like you could even stretch to a little bit about the whole like Sabretooth one. Every other Gaiden thing that we've had, like the Blue Mistral stuff, the Ice Trail, any of the other things and all that, excluding out like that and Fairy Girls, those are all about kind of main characters of the series. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get another one of these mangas, and this is just going after the Laxus one, knowing that it's probably going to have the same length as these ones, probably only going to be like 13, 16, 18, like so odd chapters. That my best guess to this situation is that probably the next one afterwards is like the candidates got left. I doubt it's Julia, because Julia was in Road Knight, she took play in that. Maybe she might have a bit of like, you know, focusing on like the whole Grey thing. Maybe they might add some kind of like stuff from the time skip there. And the only real other characters I could think of that could actually have something like this and it could work, because they're characters, they're slightly popular and they're not exactly like the biggest out of all the Fairy Tail characters and all that you think of, but the only other possible candidates would probably be the Takeover siblings, mainly being Mira Jane, Lizana, and Elfman. I feel like these are the characters that it's like, you know, that would get people really interested in it. I mean, obviously a lot of people want to read it for Laxus, because Laxus is a badass. Same thing can be said with Gargiel. You want to see a bit of Gargiel and Levy, and then you've got a nice surprise like coming seeing with a Crime Sorcerer in there. And like, so there's a little addition to all of them. I feel like they add on to their own thing. It's like, don't get me wrong, they do not even need to be read in the way that, like, if you read these and all that, you're not going to miss a thing. They're just really, like, side stories to see what the characters are up to during some certain times in the series, and it's just, you know, dumb, goofy fun, hence spin-offs like that. You don't need it at all for the main story. It just seems a little bit weird, however, like, with the first anime, they were like, oh yeah, to be continued. with it, and they're kind of keeping their mouths shut, like they're keeping it a bit zipped for this, and the same thing could be said with the anime as well. It's like they really haven't been talking about it. Now maybe the anime movie, maybe that's just like they really don't want to go more into it, maybe they're trying to build hype for it, maybe they're having some production issues where they're like, we're having kind of the difficulty getting it around. Honestly, like that's the only real other one I could see. I was like, I couldn't see them doing like one on Kana, like even as well, like I couldn't really see them do one exactly on like the characters. I'm thinking like they couldn't really do one on Julia. I feel like Julia, like since she already had time in Road Knight, she's got Fairy Girls, which is a big part of like her as well, and like, you know, a bunch of other stuff that she's been in. I doubt it could be that character. I could see a Jalal one, if anything. Like I feel like even though that's a little bit on the shaky side, coming from the fact that all we just saw recently was like a bit of crime sorcerer in the Road Knight manga, so I'm kind of curious that maybe Jalal could be a character, maybe like the Ashion, but I feel like the ones that have got the most possibility out of all of them is probably Mira Jane and the rest of the Takeover siblings. That's my home situation, but I thought I'd give you this kind of news update saying like, yeah, there's going to be a new Laxus manga. I'll probably do a little bit of like talk about some information about it once there's like some more stuff to go on. I'll probably do the first chapter because I always do the first chapter on these things. But yeah, I feel like this is kind of like some news I just really found out just like about an hour ago, and I feel like, you know, this is probably their plan at the moment. I feel like maybe they're just like having all these mangas, so like, we still got the current manga going on, these people are still hyped, but don't worry, you still got the side mangas, you still got all this other stuff and all that. We've got OVAs. This right here is a fucking clever strategy. I like that they're not like fluctuating, like saying there's so much, there is a lot going around, but they're making them very short stories. So it's like, hey, you guys want to just see this guy, you want to see just this character's story, there you go, you can jump right off, there you go, you're fine. If you want to stay for the ride, you can keep like reading all these things, and it's like, hey, if you don't want to read them, well, it's going to be okay, because near every other fairy tale material that we've had so far has been adapted into anime format, so people that probably wait patiently, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get this in a format, mainly being this new Project Anime about it. Because it, like, you think they would have actually said something about a sequel immediately after, like, going into it, like, it's the same thing they had to be continued, but that's a lot more of the speculation. That could be saved for another video, but let me know what you think about it. Do you love Fairy Tail as much as I do? Do you love talking about it? Of course, you can see the shelf there, and then you hit the like and subscribe, because that's what you do over here with us Fairy Tail fans. But that's all from me. I've been Savagezweipanda, your host, and thank you so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time.